Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of Hope Village. I'm so excited that you are joining us today. We just want to make sure you stay encouraged and stay connected and know that this too shall pass. So, we have a special episode, like every episode, that excites me when we can connect with people who are living their recovery out loud and doing it one day at a time. And today we have some special guests, some folks that are connected to recovery community organizations as well as churches as it relates to ministries that are happening in our community and the church. And I'm excited to introduce these women because I have known them a minute. But we want to talk about today how recovery is being delivered in the climate in our COVID pandemic and what we're doing to make sure we continue to reach out, to make sure we continue to live out loud, to make sure that recovery happens because every day we are still connected and we are in recovery. So stay tuned, and we've got a great episode in store for you. If you'll join me, let's go do it.
My name is Ricardo Handy. I'm a filmmaker. I was recently inspired to make a movie about the life of Lucy Hall.
I always tell the women my story. I used to smoke crack in the bathroom. Today, if you go to my house, what's in the bathroom is my Bible. Because I had to put something in that place that was greater than what used to be in that place.
Her story has inspired thousands of women to get on the path to recovery and change their lives forever.
Like I always tell the women in recovery, now you're the disciple that gotta go share it.
Amen.
You're the person who's gotta go tell your story. You've gotta be an advocate.
In this podcast, we will go in depth with Lucy and the recovery community at large.
You shouldn't have to get arrested to get well. If the community and the place where you grew up and the place where your family lives isn't going to be about redemption, who is?
You are tuned in to the Hope Village podcast. Stay tuned to find out how you can see the movie Hope Village and get Lucy's book, The Complete Guide from Rehab to Recovery.
If I can put a Hope Village in every town, we'd be in business.
Wonderful. Thank you again for joining us. I have two guests today. One is Amanda Ippolito, who is from an RCO here in Atlanta, and it's called PEP, and I'm excited about Amanda joining me. And Amanda, if you will introduce yourself, and then I'll turn it over to Jasmine and let her introduce herself. But Amanda, tell us who you are.
Okay. Hey, my name's Amanda. I'm a person in long-term recovery. What that means for me is it's been just over 9 years since I've used any mind-altering substances, including alcohol. Because of my recovery, I have been transformed into a person that lives it out loud, who I love the Lord, I love my recovery community, and I'm very, very grateful that I'm able to work in a recovery environment.
So what do you do? Tell us who you do it with and what you do.
Sure. I work for Peers Empowering Peers. It's a recovery community organization in Sandy Springs. And what we do is we bring together recovery allies, people in recovery, and community members to bring forth the message of recovery in such a positive way. And, everybody's recovering from something. And we're finding that we're getting more and more support, particularly during this pandemic. More and more people are reaching out and wanting to help. So that's a fantastic thing. I'm a certified peer specialist, CPS. And what I do is I talk to people, help them come up with recovery plans, help them work on their goals so that they find satisfaction in their recovery. And I support any pathway that they're looking at for their recovery, whatever it is.
Perfect. Thank you. Thanks, Amanda. Awesome. And our other guest today is Jasmine Turner, another sister who is living her recovery out loud. Welcome, Jasmine. And if you will introduce yourself.
Hi, Miss Lucy. Thank you. My name is Jasmine, and I am a person in long-term recovery. And what that means for me is that it has been actually 9 years yesterday, 9 years, one day since I used any drugs, alcohol, or any mind-altering substance. And what my recovery has afforded me is that today I love me. Today I am present. Today I am present as a mom, as a daughter, as a sister, as a friend, as a peer, as an advocate. I am a productive member of society today. I am a college graduate, and I also am a homeowner. And I give God all of the glory for everything that He has done.
Awesome, awesome. So I'm excited, and I'm gonna jump right in. As you, Jasmine, talked about all of those awesome things, and again, congratulations on your 9 years yesterday. You do that thing, my
Thank you.
sister, a day at a time. But I want you to tell folks what you do now as a result of your recovery, because I've known you for a minute, and I know that you've done a couple of things in these 9 years, but what you do today at the North Atlanta Church of Christ is really exciting, and what they do from that church as it relates to recovery is really exciting. So if you would share with us a little bit about what North Atlanta Church does as it relates to the recovery community and your role in that.
Okay. Well, North Atlanta Church of Christ is over in Dunwoody. We call ourselves as a whole a recovery church. So that means that everybody is recovering from something.
Ain't that the truth?
Specifically, we have the Anchor Ministry, and the Anchor Ministry is a ministry that partners with different programs like Mary Hall Freedom House. And what we do is we kind of bring the best of both worlds together. So we have people who are in recovery that come to our church, and then we kind of blend the spirituality part with that. So then we kind of bring them together. So for me, I can say I was in recovery and I needed to connect with my higher power of whom I call God. And then the both of them came together, and it was just something beautiful. And that's what we do. What we offer is on Sunday mornings, we have, well, right now it's virtually at Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. We have a church service live on Facebook. And then also we have spiritual mentors. We have spiritual mentors that kind of partner up with one of the ladies that's in the program and walk with them through their spiritual journey, just as a sponsor would with someone in recovery. The spiritual mentors connect and walk with them through their spiritual journey. On Wednesday nights, we also offer a Facebook Live where it's just myself and someone in long-term recovery who's just giving a message of hope. And then on Sundays, on Sundays, we are starting this Sunday, we're going to have a Zoom meeting so it can be more interactive, so that our ladies that are in the programs or our guys that are in the program can actually just be interactive and share their feelings, share where they're at right now, especially with everything that's going on. And then on Monday mornings, we're going to start doing the spirituality meeting. The spirituality meeting that's just where we bring in a spiritual lesson via Zoom to the ladies.
So Jasmine, you got a little ahead of me, but that was cool. I want you to, no, you're good.
Sorry.
So I wanted to know what North Atlanta did before the pandemic, but you just shared with us, which is cool, what you all have started doing as a result of the temperature and the climate that we're living in, which is cool. So tell us about Anchor before COVID-19. And then, like you said, I heard you say a number of things that you all had to do. And so tell us about that shift. Share with the audience right now, here's what we were doing in ministry for recovery prior to this climate of this pandemic. And here's the shifts we made to accommodate and to still stay connected. Because we all know, as people in recovery, that connection is the key. People need to feel connected because our addictions made us isolated and made us scarce to the world. We were in such darkness, and the beauty of recovery is being able to live it out loud and to be okay with basking in the sun and being okay with being with other people, but being able to stay connected, we know, is a key. And so tell us about Anchor Ministry pre-COVID and now what you do to stay connected.
Okay. Well, pre-COVID, on Sunday mornings, the programs would come in at 10 a.m. and that's where we would have a recovery Bible class. And that is where we would have like maybe 7 or 8 small groups where we have spiritual mentors and maybe a person in long-term recovery who would lead these groups. And then also, in addition to that, it was also one-on-one mentorship as to where we had an area in our church where if someone wanted a spiritual mentor, they would go off and sit one-on-one and just kind of the same thing, just kind of walk the spiritual journey. And then they were able to be baptized and things of that nature. And on Wednesday nights, we had a group or a meeting called Off the Chain, and it was really off the chain. Yeah, it was really off the chain, and that's where we might do a little bit of dancing, and we have a different speaker come in, whether it be AA, NA, CA, someone from our church that would speak on a particular topic, and we would celebrate clean time and things of that nature. And yeah, that's about it.
Awesome. And then, of course, like you said, having made the adjustments, you all are utilizing technology to still reach these recovery communities that you all work with. And so about how many recovery programs or recovery ministries have you guys been working with? And I know North Atlanta has been doing this for many years. I mean, I've been doing Mary Hall almost 25 years. So I know they have been doing it for many years. Mm-hmm. And so how long have you been doing it? And then secondly, like I said, since the pandemic, how many programs or how many outreaches do you guys do?
Okay, so the Anchor Ministry has been around since 2000. And before the pandemic, we partnered with, I would say, 4 different programs. Okay. And right now, since the pandemic, we're partnering with 3 of those 4 programs. But the reason for that is because we're technology and phones, and we're still trying to get creative for those who might not have the technology or a cell phone or a laptop or whatever. And so even with that, we're doing more so just phone calls. So some type of way we're trying to stay connected no matter what. That's
awesome. And that's really a great segue, because that's one of the things at Mary Hall Freedom House we have had to do. Immediately when the pandemic hit, we had to go out and make sure everybody had a smart TV in their apartment unit, as well as an iPad or a laptop in their unit, so that they could stay connected through technology. And so, as you said, it's very difficult for those programs or people even that are not connected through technology. But I have to say, it is so amazing to me all that is offered through technology right now. I mean, whether you want to watch a concert for free, or whether you want to go to a meeting, you can go to a 12-step meeting, or whether you want to Zoom to see a friend or a family member. There are so many ways to stay connected. So thank North Atlanta for reaching out and making sure that people are touched and that they still feel connected to a community. Amanda, over there at PEP, I know that they also have reached out to us, and you guys are doing some amazing things as well. So tell us what you guys did and offered prior to COVID, and then now what are you doing after the pandemic and you continue to reach out in the recovery community?
Surely. So in what we have been doing previous to the pandemic is, first of all, we came out to Mary Hall a couple of times a week and worked with the ladies in a group setting. And we talked about, different skills involving codependency, working on that. Also, double trouble in recovery, which is when someone has both a mental health and a substance use challenge, and they're trying to pull everything together. So that's what we were doing previously at the site. Also previously, we picked up for meetings over at Peers Empowering Peers, Cocaine Anonymous meeting and Opiates Anonymous meeting. And we invited the ladies in to do recreational activities. Also, to any event that we have, we always invite the ladies at Mary Hall. We've had art events, cultural diversity events, different things like that.
But you offer that not just to Mary Hall, but to the recovery community. So, how is that interaction in terms of touching the lives? Again, your 12-step meetings or where you go out to, how many folks do you guys usually touch, whether it's in a week, a month? How do you touch the recovery community? Because I know you said we don't just do people in recovery, we work with allies and stakeholders. That's what's important as well as it relates to recovery communities, is working with everybody in the community to make sure recovery happens and we understand what recovery means. So, you know, how else was PEP, or how else were you guys delivering those messages?
Okay. We work with the Chamber of Commerce in our area, the Sandy Springs Perimeter Chamber of Commerce. It's a large organization, and it kind of wraps around our physical site. And so it's a great venue to be able to talk about peers empowering peers, gain support from different community members, receive donations, and because employee assistance programs, things like that, they need to know that these services are available free in our community, as well as the options in our community if someone needs to go to a recovery program. With 6 programs on an ongoing basis, including Mary Hall Freedom House. And we also, so it's the meetings, it's taking the content out, it's the invitation, phone appointments. People come in and do check-ins with me, and we work on their goals. And I speak with people frequently throughout the day to help, you know, just to check in with them, make sure that things are going all right. They call me, let me know, hey, Amanda, you know, I thank you for helping me with those applications. I got a job today. Hey, Amanda, thank you for that referral for that mental health appointment. I was able to get in. Thank you for that ride. You know, thanks for helping me renew my benefits. Just all different things. You know, we don't, it's not just recovery, it's a holistic approach.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the incredible part about recovery community organizations, recognizing that they are in the community to serve the community and to connect people to everything they need to be well. And so to your point, you know, I want to just highlight Double Trouble, meaning that's one of the groups that is offered to people who are in recovery from substance use, as well as people who are learning to live with their mental health as it relates to being clean and sober. And so thank you for that. And so what I want you to tell us now, if you will, Amanda, is what are some of the things you all are doing to continue to stay connected and reach people during this pandemic? Okay.
Well, one of the first things we did was we adopted the Zoom platform to help us do our meetings virtually. So our whole meeting schedule from our trauma support group, Cocaine Anonymous, AA, CA, HA, all that's available virtually now. So people can just click on a link or use their phone and dial into a meeting at the appointed times. Another thing that I saw a real need for, I saw people, you know, people were calling me, telling me they've lost their jobs. They don't know how they're going to pay their rent. They don't know how they're going to feed their kids. So we were able to just, oh, so amazing. Community partners came out, and as soon as they found out that we were delivering food, because initially it was mainly bread, you know, hot dog buns, bread, sweet, things like that, supplementing us with peanut butter and jelly, ham, tuna, things like that. Then I reached out to a partner that I met at Mary Hall Freedom House when I was there, Anthony Delgado with I Care Atlanta. And Anthony is such an amazing man. We made arrangements for regular pickup every Friday. And then also anytime he has something kind of special or it's prepared foods or anything like that, that we can take out. We're in such close proximity that we just go over there, load up, organize it, and then take it out to the recovery houses in the area. And we're currently serving 6 different recovery houses. And we try to make it fun. Like one thing we did like a pizza party for Mary Hall, where I had the dough, real pizza, sauce, vegetables, cheese, so that everyone could make their own, you know, have a pizza party in their unit. So, so it's a lot of fun, and it's great to see the community support for that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And again, I'm just amazed, you know, I had gone through my own bout with pneumonia a couple of weeks ago and do know what it's like to come from something difficult, you know, and I remember just waking up one Monday morning and saying, God, you've given me the power to put sickness out of my house. I have authority over sickness. And I began to read the word on the hour and pray on the hour and just declaring it, because I had to fight. I had to fight. I will tell anybody who gets ill during this time, it's a fight for your life, because sickness and disease comes to rob you. And you got to know that you've been redeemed. You got to know who you are. You got to know whose you are. Because just like recovery, you know, we've had to make adjustments big time at Mary Hall Freedom House, like I said, to make sure everybody had technology, that everybody was connected, so that they could stay connected to not just you all's ministries and missions, but to their counselors, to, you know, each other and things like that. And I was just amazed. Today was my first time doing a group with the women of Mary Hall through Teams. We use Teams, not Zoom, but whatever outlet or platform you have access to. And I mean, I just got so emotional with them, to see their faces and to be able to connect with them and to encourage them, and to be able to say to them, be encouraged and hang in there. And so I'm one who's always going to be transparent. And I was sharing with them how I had been ill. And they were just like, Miss Lucy, we didn't know, you know, but I said, you know what? The beauty of it is you've learned how to pray anyhow. So when you're praying for different people, people just don't know how much we need each other's prayers. And so on a daily basis, I have connected with different prayer ministries that are online, different 12-step meetings that are online, different people. We must stay connected. And I say to people, get back to basics. Get back to those things you did early on that kept you connected. I always tell people my faith, my fitness, my family, and my friends is what's important in any season. And when we're going through hard times, staying connected to people and staying well yourself is so important. And I say that because I want the two of you to talk about, if you will, any of the struggles you've had during this time, because people need to hear that too. They don't need to say, you know, we don't need to just keep on saying, oh, everything's fine, everything's fine. No, everything is not always fine. There are people who are sitting, because I live alone. I hate to say that out loud, but you know, I do live alone. I'm protected, I tell you that. But anyway, being alone and being ill is a dark place. But every day I had to fight to get up out my bed, come down to my gym in my garage and do my elliptical or whatever I could do. And I usually am out there anywhere from 60 minutes to 90 minutes. But on one day, all I can do was 10 minutes. That's when I knew I was fighting. All I could do was 10 minutes, and I would move from that bed to the couch, because when they said pneumonia and fluid builds up in your lungs, I knew I couldn't lay down all day, that I had to get up and sit up. And I would literally sit on my couch, didn't cut on a TV, didn't connect with anybody. There were some days all I could do was sleep every minute of the day. But you know what? It was my faith. It was my family. It was my friends. I mean, one day somebody said to me, does your pastor know you're sick? And I said, no, my pastor got enough going on with trying to maintain the church, trying to do his job and this, that, and the third. And they said, Lucy, you need to tell him. And I sent him a text. And the next thing I know, him and his wife called me and they were praying for me. So sometimes when we think that people won't, everybody needs everybody right now. So these are the times we do not need to isolate and feel like we're alone. People want to reach out. Last night I started reaching out to people just in my phone, just for the sake of it. And it was amazing how they were so glad to hear from me. And I just think that's important as well, that we stay connected and reach out to people. So if Jasmine, you want to tell us about a story during this pandemic that you have dealt with, whether it's your personal story or somebody you know and love, but nonetheless, people need to hear that as well. People need to hear the testimony, because we continue to be resilient people who know how to fight.
Mm-hmm. Yes. You know, just to keep it totally honest, when this thing first started out, you know, my mindset about it was like, it's not going to touch me. It's not going to get me. But then the more you start to look at the news, or the more you start to just hear things and talking to people, I I don't know, just my mind just started going into that fear zone. And I was like, what if? And then I would, when they said like, you don't know, you won't know for 2 weeks. And so if I had a scratch in my throat or if I had anything, I was always a little bit nervous about that. But the main thing is having to be physically distanced or social distance. For me, that I just don't deal with that well. And I don't do well with a lot of idle time. So, when they said, okay, 2 weeks this, and then it became, April 31st. And every time I hear a date, my anxiety would just raise so high. And then I wouldn't know what to do with myself. And I would just find something to do to stay busy. So I'll say probably for about the last week up until yesterday, I was finding something to do, like probably 21 of the 24 hours of the day. I wasn't sleeping, productive stuff, as for my work, as for recovery, or going on a walk with my son, but it was always something. But I wasn't doing self-care the way I should. I wasn't sleeping the way I should because, my anxiety had just gotten so high. And when my anxiety comes, I always have to stay busy or whatever. So, I've talked to a few people and, I've told myself that I have to set boundaries even for myself. I have to turn off the computer. I have to turn off social media at a certain time. I have to pray, and I have to talk to God about it, call my sponsor, call my spiritual mentor to, tell somebody, what's going on. I have a discipleship group that we meet on Fridays, and we get together and we just do a self check-in with each other. And they all thanked me for putting it together. But little do they know, I put that together because I put that together for me. But thank God it helped everybody else too. So just setting boundaries and really putting in that self-care, because the isolation is, and the physically distance, we can be physically distanced, but we don't have to be socially distanced. So, amen. If that makes sense.
Oh, it does. It totally makes sense. And you're absolutely right. And I thank you for being 100 and sharing that totally honest, because other people do need to know what to do with anxiety, what to do with fear. And for me, I'm not a person who stays connected. It's hard for me to watch TV or to watch CNN, none of that. I mean, Ricardo, my partner on Hope Village here, always says, well, Lucy, do you know so-and-so? And we crack up because I'll shake my head no, because I don't know a whole lot of stars and famous people. Yeah. I mean, they could be sitting next to me and I wouldn't know, because I don't plug into that medium. Because for me, again, I'm a creature of habit, and my habit is my faith, my fitness, my family, and my friends. That's what's gotten me these 30 years, and I stick to the script, And so to your point, you got to set those boundaries. You got to take care of yourself spiritually. You got to take care of yourself physically. You got to take care of yourself mentally and emotionally, because you can get sucked into the wrong things. Darkness is always over here is trying to suck us in. But thanks be to God for his light that supersedes that. And so we've got to stay connected. Thank you, Jazz, for sharing that and totally being transparent. Amanda, how about you? What's been going on in your world?
Well, funny you would ask. So my mother was ill at the beginning of March and went to the hospital, and she had a few complications. And then after she'd been in the hospital for 3 weeks and been transferred from hospital to rehab care to an emergency room, back to rehab care, she went back to the hospital. She had a high temperature. I don't want to say her age, but she's a little bit older than me. And she was tested and tested positive for COVID-19. And, the temperature really scared me. But, at no time, I made a decision right then. I'm standing on my faith.
Amen.
I am standing on my faith, because that's what I have. I have my faith. I have my faith in myself. I have my faith in God, and I have faith in the process and doing the right thing. So, I spoke to my mom every day. she was discharged. I guess it's been 10 days now. She was discharged, and she's been recovering in my house, in my basement. So we've been practicing, precautions, the gloves, the masks, the cleaning, also personally taking vitamins and making sure that my allergies are in check so that I don't end up having something that is a nest, for the virus to settle into. So today I can say that, it'll be 14 days since my mom's had a fever on Wednesday. And I believe that I am not going to get the virus.
Amen.
And so, it's been a little challenging, but at no time did I think my mom was going to die, because I knew that God had this. And I knew that I didn't rely on my faith, that I would probably get sick and everything else. So anyway, it's been an amazing journey. And you talk about reaching out for prayer. One of the first things I did was call my friend Jasmine there, and told her, hey, please pray for me right now, because I don't even know what to say to God. Just everyone I've worked with has been so gracious and has been praying with me. I know my whole church has been praying with me. A lot of my peers, even my people that I work with, have been praying with me, and I think it's really been a great opportunity to show them that, hey, I really trust God. I really trust Him, and you can trust Him too.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's amazing. Thank you for that. And I sent you a text, and I continue to pray for you and your mom and your household. And it is true. We've got to share our testimony. I think everybody who in this season, as we go through this season, everything that we have experienced that God has brought us through, we need to share with other people, especially people who are early in recovery, or no matter where they're at in recovery. Because as we said in the beginning, everybody on this earth is recovering from something, whether it's divorce, whether it's loss of job. Right now, we got more people needing recovery because of the loss of loved ones, because of the loss of, there's just so much darkness right now that we got to be light and share recovery out loud every time we can, every platform He gives us, every person that we come in contact with, whether I'm standing 6 feet away from you or not. Like this afternoon, I went for a bike ride. I try to go out and go to bike riding, at least every day or every other day. Yesterday it was pouring down raining, so of course I couldn't, but today, and when I tell you I ran into 6 deer, a whole slew of them were just coming across the road. And y'all know, I stopped and I literally took pictures of them, and then I started videoing them on my phone, because the beauty of what God is doing and replenishing and resetting and refreshing this earth is just amazing. And I mean, they watched me. They didn't run from me. They didn't run to me. They just sat there and let me film them. Me and another biker, he stopped. And we were both amazed. And I said, look at our blessing for today. These 6 deer were a whole family that just walked by us and crossed the street. And people who were coming down the street stopped in amazement. But me and this other biker, we were like, isn't that a blessing? A whole family, 6 deer, the whole family. Just like everybody is having to be with their family, these deer were all hanging out together as well. Everybody is staying in groups. So there was 6, and I've never seen 6 deer. I've seen 2, I've seen 3 in my backyard even. But to see a whole group of them like those 6 deer today, just really, really, really. And I'm a person who believes in miracles, signs, and wonders. And so that sign to me today just helped me to keep my faith strong, believing that God is healing our families, God is increasing our faith, God is working on our fitness around us. We got to stay fit. But I also believe He's purging us. He's purging us to realize all of these things we began to idolize in this earth, like getting our nails done and all this stuff we hoard in our house. I told my sister last week, I call myself pick a project. I pick a project or two, like you were saying, Jazz. I got to find something to do. So I'll pick a project. I done gave away 5 bags of clothes. I done did my garage. And then I started doing the pantry. I opened that pantry door and you couldn't even get in. You can sit in it today. Why? Because I threw away everything from 2016 to 2020. It was one of those things where it's time to purge and to realize the things we hoard, the things we have, we don't need those things. And I just hear God saying that he is truly, truly receding this virus, that it is starting to leave us, and that while he's receding, it is restoring our faith in our family and everything around us. And after that, he is going to send revival, and I'm getting excited about it.
Go ahead, now.
We will rejoice. We're going to see things happen in this earth right now that we've never seen before. Like I said, just think about the air, the air temperature and the air everywhere. They were talking about how they were sending drones over China and LA and different places, and you can see each other because the smog is lifted, the air is fresh, all of that. I was out riding and I had my mask on. I was like, take the mask off. You're on the bike, and take in the fresh air and enjoy the moment. I just love the fact that right now families are getting to know one another. You are actually spending time with your loved ones. My sister had a good fish fry on Friday, and we went and sat in her backyard, and we can practice social distancing. We don't have to be alone. We need to reach out to one another. So every day commit to reaching out to somebody else. It's one thing, we got our own tribes, but we got to continue to reach out to one another and someone else that may be in need. Because we all got phones that are full of people's names and numbers that we haven't talked to in forever. Reach out. You got time today to touch 3 more people that you would have never talked to. Continue to reach out and continue to celebrate the gift of recovery. Ladies, I thank God for you both. In closing, is there anything you want to say to encourage people who are watching, people in recovery, allies, everybody right now, like I said, is in recovery? So your message of hope, Jazz, would you like to say?
Yes, I'll just say, one of the things that I have been sticking to and I stand on is I'm going to trust God no matter what it looks like, no matter what the enemy tries to put in my mind, no matter what I might even feel like, no matter what they say on the news. Lord, I trust you. I know that you have my best interest at heart. So I am going to surrender this situation, whatever it may be, even with the COVID-19 or, my anxiety personally. Lord, I surrender it to you. And God, I need your help, and I'm going to trust you with it once I give it to you.
Okay. Thanks, darling. I appreciate it. How about you, Amanda? Any last words of hope and encouragement?
Absolutely. So one thing I want to say is, like you were saying, stick to a schedule, keep the daily routine things up that are self-care, that are important for your own health and your own well-being. And this is a time to remember, recovery doesn't give any days off. This is a thing that I do every day, and I continue to go to meetings, even if it's virtually, and stay in contact with people that are my allies and my sponsor and sponsees and, the other people that I serve. And really, it's been such a joy. It's been such a joy because right now people really need the connection. Mm-hmm. So I just encourage everybody to, don't think, well, my schedule's off. I don't feel like doing this. My schedule's set. It's a plan. So I know that at 5:45, I'm going to be on this meeting, and I'll be there, and it's going to be a great meeting,
Awesome. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Jazz. And thank you for watching, everyone. I am just really excited that you tuned in and want to encourage you that we know that this too shall pass. One day at a time, we can continue to be resilient and fight for our recovery, fight for our lives, fight for our loved ones, pray one for another, continue to sow seeds of hope where you know that they need to be sowed. And most important, stay connected. Stay connected in a community. Stay connected to the things that you know that got you thus far. Don't look back. Keep looking to the hills for which cometh your help. So be encouraged. Thank you, ladies, for joining us, and you be blessed. Have a great week.